So episode 5 came along,
Yep, episode 5.
and oh my
Dan.
god, I love this episode so much. So
It is a very good episode. I love it. I really do enjoy it.
yeah, so at the start of the show,
It intrigues me for episode 6.
so at the start of episode 5, it actually kind of takes on from episode 3 rather than episode 4.
Yep, we're back in the 1970s at this stage. No,
80s,
1980s. 1980s.
And then, so Wanda's got her 2 twins. She's trying to stop them crying. And then there's
She's got one of her twins. Vision's got the other.
yeah, that's
one.
true. That's true. But they're both trying to stop them crying. And then there's like a dummy scene, like a little bit of comedy in there. I wasn't a great
he's
fan
got
of the comedy
dummies
in this episode.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, but I did like the fact that he put the dummies in his ears. Oh, they're not used to mute.
Yeah.
I'm not meant to use them to mute the children. They're meant to go. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's probably the highlight of the comedy of this episode. But this episode wasn't good for the comedy.
This is not the comedy episode.
I don't think there was a lot of serious tones. Anyway, Agnes shows up
Yep.
somehow.
In a 90 days workout gear.
Yeah, and then she makes a weird comment. So Vision says, "Oh, you don't."
Vision's because she's trying to interact with the twins and put them to sleep. And Vision panics and goes, "Well, he's like a protective father, and he doesn't want anyone to touch them." And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to." And then Agnes, like Vision, then suddenly slows down and starts like it gets really awkward.
Yeah,
And then Agnes goes, "Oh, do you want me to retake my line?"
yeah.
redo
It's like,
it and
and
stuff
Vision
like
was like, "What?"
And he's confused. And then I have the theory that because Agnes isn't like from the previous episode isn't got an ID and is probably one of the bad people, that she's telling Wanda to reset.
Right.
Because-
Yeah.
Because it's like, do you want me to reset? Because she's kind of imprinting into Wanda to reset everything, because to create this reality. And she's going, reset this because he's questioning things, so reset it so that you can continue this fantasy.
I mean, I sort of get where you're coming from, and I wouldn't be surprised if that is right, but I don't think it is.
What do you think it is then?
I think it's still Wanda controlling it. I think Wanda's still controlling her, and I think maybe if it was your theory, I think it's someone controlling it through Wanda, and someone's
that's what
talking
I mean.
through
I
Wanda.
think
I don't think it's
Agnes
actually
is
her. I don't think Agnes
I
is
think
the
it
actual
is.
person, but I could be wrong. We'll wait and see. It doesn't
Because
answer this episode.
because she's always turning up when Wanda needs something to break, like fix the reality that she's creating. So I think it's her stepping in to fix Wanda's reality and help Wanda reset everything and make it play into her reality that it's all fixable.
Yeah, once again, I won't be surprised, but I just don't think it is.
And then we get the kids randomly growing up.
Yeah, that was weird. Didn't expect that.
Because she's like, oh, do they have to cry all the time? And then it's like, oh, we're just now like 7 years old or 8
5.
years old. 5? Really?
It was
They
5.
did not look 5.
They're meant to be 5.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a comment in there saying they're 5 years old.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Those
But
kids were
the
alright,
weird thing
it's like-
is, Agnes doesn't care.
Yeah, that's the thing, because she's like, oh, you could probably show Vision your real form if you wanted to as well.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a comment. It's like,
All of a sudden,
that's later.
because the first 3 episodes is all about Wanda
They're
and
all-
Vision trying to blend in.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, Wanda doesn't care.
Wanda doesn't want to have to hide anymore. At least
Yeah.
she's sort of breaking her. I want to have everything hidden away.
Yeah. And then we had the 80s intro.
Yeah.
Not my favourite one.
Didn't really love it. No, I really didn't like this one.
I think my favourite is sort of the 60s. The
I like the one
WandaVision.
with the bicycle.
WandaVision.
I like the bicycle one. I think that was episode.
Yeah.
I don't really care this much about this one.
And
I
then,
think it's just because it was the weird baby photo of Vision.
yeah, that was. I was like, what?
That Disney loves making baby versions of characters that are popular. And it's like, and now I imagine it's going to be Baby Yoda, Baby Groot, and Baby Vision, all just paired up as the cutest baby versions of
That's so
kids.
weird.
And I'm just going to be like, no. It's like, no. Also, the kids, I don't like the kid photos and stuff. They freak me the fuck out because they're like bug-eyed kids, and I'm like, I don't like kids. Kids freak me the fuck out.
Anyway, after that, we jump to the outside world again.
Yeah, so we're now not doing one episode in the real world, one episode in the fantasy world, which I thought was going to happen. They're actually cutting between the two now. That's actually...
I think I prefer that now.
Yeah, I don't think you could go back to having just fantasy.
No, it wouldn't work.
No, you have to have the reality. But yeah, we go back to the reality, and it's Monica Rambeau getting a CAT scan or something similar to a CAT scan.
Yeah, something.
Where it's like reading her brainwave. Which apparently come back as blank, so I want to know if that's something.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe somehow Wanda's changed something?
Yeah. Wanda's wiped that event from reality.
Yeah.
At least in her brainwaves, but then she still remembers.
Very weird, very strange. Rambeau's given a bit of a monologue, sort of what happened, of what she thought of the events. And then the acting director wants to kill Wanda because she thinks she's a terrorist. Yeah,
because he's having a conversation with Jimmy Woo, and Jimmy Woo's going, it's all good. We've just kind of found Wanda. We're like, here's Wanda and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then he's going, well, this person basically recounting the Sokovia Accords and stuff, and she broke the Accords because we find out that Wanda broke into a sword facility to break Vision's decapitated corpse.
Yeah.
I imagine, because that was the thing, because Vision's body is like all scattered over the place, and it's not like that solid chunk.
Yeah, that was so strange. I really thought it was going to be a solid chunk, but so no.
Yeah, because it's not Vision's body as in what we saw in episode 3, where it's like the crushed head.
Do you think
there's no head? It's just the torso. It's all the limbs split apart and everything.
Do you think they're trying to harvest the vibranium?
That's what I imagine.
And then maybe Wanda got really pissed at that.
Yeah, because I imagine it's like, well, you're dissecting my boyfriend.
Maybe that's what triggered her to do this. It's like, you are doing this horrible thing.
Yeah, even though apparently in his will, Vision had a will and stated that he didn't want to come back from the dead. Or, like, have his body used for anything. So,
yeah.
It's an interesting...
I mean... and then we jump back into the actual TV show again. The kids get a dog, which is another weird moment.
Yeah, I think they just wanted something to, like, break the reality again. And it's like, well, you want a dog? Well, you have to be 10 years old. And then they age up to 10 years old.
And then, of course, Agnes turns up again because she was getting involved.
And also sees the kids growing up because she brings a doghouse. And it's like just at the perfect moment that she just turns up with a doghouse when they decide to have the dog. And Vision's skeptical of it.
Yeah, just questioning, like, why does Agnes keep turning up when you need her to?
Which is why I think my theory is pretty solid. Because she turns up when Wanda needs reality to be fixed. Or have some sort of reality.
Yeah.
And she's there to fix it. So,
what do you make of the sort of animations of the kids growing up?
Weird. It's kind of that just morphing, stretching.
Yeah, it's like, what? I mean, of course, it must be different actors. But
I think they're using it that bad because it's 1980s, so they're using 1980s like transition technology. But I imagine that I'm going to give them a pass on it because it's like 1980s transition.
Very weird.
Okay. Well, so I preferred... I don't know why. I didn't like the 10-year-old version. 10-year-old versions piss me off.
Nah, because they're 10 years old. All kids 10 years old would piss you off.
I don't think a 10-year-old should wear an overall.
It's back in the 1980s. Anyway, we jump back.
Also, what do you think of Vision's hair? Because Vision's hair is like a weird blonde wig sort of looking thing. And
Vision's always had weird hair in every episode.
Yeah, I know. But it's weird. Like, his hair just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Anyway, so back in the open world again.
Yep, back in the real world.
Yeah. So Rambeau wants to go back in to investigate it. Everyone's like,
yes.
What do you do that for? You're an idiot.
Well, they're trying to find out if they can go back in without getting affected by Wanda.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you go in, you act like you're in Wanda's reality. And then they discover that the outfit that Monica gets sent back out in, when she gets pushed through the portal again, is the outfit that she was wearing, but it's changed its look. But it's still the same thing, because it's still made of Kevlar, because she was wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
And it had Kevlar on it.
Which is really interesting.
And then they scan the item, and they'll scan the clothes, and it's got Kevlar, but it looks different. So it's still Kevlar, but it looks different. Wait for your dog to shut the fuck up.
Shut up!
And then we cut to, and then it's like old tech stays without, because it's changing the reality, but if it's new it changes, but if it's old it stays the same because it doesn't need to be changed to fit the reality.
Yeah.
So if they send something in from the 1980s, it won't change, essentially.
That's the idea.
So then we cut to back into the fantasy reality with Vision at his workplace again, and they've just upgraded to computers.
Yeah, and this was another weird scene that just happened. I was like, what is happening?
And so Vision's friend Norm is talking about emails, and they send an email to Vision. At least I think they do. And it's like telling them...
Was that like one of the first emails that was sent? No, in the first episodes.
I don't think they... maybe they sent an email. I remember if they sent an email in
that
episode.
I thought that was like getting hijacked off another network. Of like maybe the email is to Darcy or something.
Maybe. Do you remember in episode 4 if they sent an email?
I'm pretty sure there's reference to an email at some point.
Maybe.
Maybe not into the thing, but I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, but then everyone in the office starts laughing, going, "Oh, that's hilarious," even though it's kind of serious and it's telling Vision, or like people that Wanda is basically controlling the reality, and then Vision forces Norm out of his sort of in-trance state, and he starts panicking, and he's looking for his wife and trying to get his phone and everything, but he can't, and then Vision has to snap him back into it.
Yeah, just so he comes back to... It's weird that he can do that all of a sudden.
Well, he has mind powers.
That's true, he does have the Mind Stone, but the Mind Stone doesn't exist anymore, but yeah.
But it's also Wanda's reality, so he probably still has the powers, because he can still fly.
Do you think Wanda can create the Mind Stone?
I think she can create the reality that the Mind Stone still exists.
Which is weird, because the Mind Stone, not a reality stone, but...
Yeah, but she can create the reality that it still exists, or he still thinks it exists.
Yeah.
So she creates the reality that she's snapping him out, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe if he believes that it happens, he can make it happen without Wanda knowing, because Wanda isn't aware of the fact that he snaps Norm out when he confronts her about it.
That's true.
And then we go after that, and Vision has a panic look on his face, and he's like, ah. And then we cut back to the dog and the family.
Yeah. And then the dog leaves at some point. Oh no, that's later on.
They mention the fact that there's like, oh, why is Daddy not here? And it's like Saturday, and she's probably messed up the dates because she's been worried, and she sends Vision to work, but it's a Saturday, so why would he be working? So she has to make an excuse. And then she's talking about twins, and the kids ask, "Did you have a sibling?"
Yeah, and she's like, "Yes."
And yes, Pietro. And then some banging starts happening, and then the dog gets all worked up, and they go out, and then it's a drone, and then Wanda, like they send in a drone from like the 1980s.
Yeah, and then Rambo tries to talk to her.
Yeah,
and then Wanda's eyes start glowing red.
Well, the director says to fire on her.
Yeah, and then
because there's apparently a missile in it.
I'm pretty sure there was an explosion sound.
I don't think so.
I thought there was. I might be wrong. Could be. I'll have to.
No, I think it's her breaking the static on, like crushing the drone or
something like that.
Like stopping the feed because they're tracking. They have a camera on it and they're tracking the feed of so that they can see the reality.
And then probably the second most maddest part of this episode, Wanda actually leaves the town and confronts Sword,
and has her Scarlet Witch outfit on,
which I was so
not her like comic book
confused.
Yeah, she comes out, threatens them, like gets guns pointed on her with laser sights pointed at her. She just doesn't
care.
She's all pissed. Monica Rambeau tries to talk to her, has like a heart to heart, and basically Wanda's not having any of it.
And Wanda gets her accent back as well. She has an accent back.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because that means she's putting it on when she's in trying to fit in with people. So she's that because everyone had like a weird thing. It's like, oh, she loses her accent in like in Age of Ultron and Civil War and Infinity War and all of that, and it's like, well, yeah, she's trying to fit in with people, and then when she doesn't want to fit in with people, she's bringing her accent back. So that's a nice way of bringing the accent that people had a problem with, back into like an actual explanation. She's putting it on, try and fit in, and then she mind controls all of the people putting guns on her to fire. Like maybe shoot at the director of Sword.
Yeah.
In a moment, because
and then that's when we see actual good visual effects.
yeah, and then she re-enters the world.
Yeah, but kind of a weird way she did it. It's like kind of breaking it open.
Stretches open the reality of the bubble.
Which is kind of weird. Because, well, maybe Wanda's not actually created this reality. Maybe she's just keeping everyone in it.
But then we get an ad for Lagos paper towels.
Yeah.
Like in the vein of those bounty ads where it's like, your paper towels suck. Buy our ones. They absorb more shit. And your husband's a klutz. And it's called Lagos. And Lagos is the event of where WandaVision... where Wanda blows up the embassy for Wakanda when in Captain America Civil War.
And in Marvel Comics, it's also a location of anti-mutant research lab.
Yeah, so
hint.
Some more hinties.
Yeah.
And then because the dog runs away and the kids run after it before all of the events with Wanda coming and dragging the drone out and stuff. And then the dog is found. The kids are looking for the dog, and then Agnes finds the dog in a bush, dead.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I think this is the one moment I think that you could be right with.
Yeah. And then Wanda's like, oh, well, sadly. And then the kids are like, well, you can bring people back from the dead, bring our dog back. And she's like, no, don't cheat it. Don't cheat reality.
Basically hinting at her being Vision back to life.
Yeah, because the kids want to grow up so they don't have to deal with the emotional pain of having a dead dog.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, kids, don't do that. But Mom, you can bring everything back from the dead. And then Vision turns up, and then they have a big old argument about why is this happening? You're creating this reality. What the hell are you doing? This is wrong. And then they both fly up at each other.
And then there's the great line of, I don't remember anything before Westview.
Yeah.
Which, that is the line that makes me think, what if Vision she actually has brought Vision back to life again? Because if think about it, if he ripped out the Mind Stone.
Well, that's his mind.
Yeah, it's his mind. But if you rebuilt him, then he wouldn't have any memories other than what she gave him. So he could actually still be alive.
No, it would be implanted memories. It wouldn't be an actual
life. It would be actually lively him, but, I don't know.
It'd be a robot with implanted... It's like Vision was sentient, and he's now not sentient. He's just a robot. And maybe he's becoming sentient again.
Maybe.
But then your favourite moment, I guess...
I love this moment because I wasn't expecting it. I know you kind of had a spoiled it for you.
Yeah. Because I saw the cast list.
So there's a knocking on the door, which... Normally you'd assume it's Agnes, because that's happened so many other times.
Yeah.
And then Vision says, you're controlling this. And then Wanda goes, I swear I'm not. And then it turns out...
goes, like, statistically, this is probably you controlling it.
Yeah. And then she opens the door.
She opens the door. It's a guy's head from behind.
White hair, stick back. My initial thought was it could be Captain America, but I was like, that's stupid.
When Dad told me this, I was like, that's stupid. Why would they bring...
But it could look like it from behind.
I told Dad the only reason why that would work is because they wanted to send something old back in to get her. Because the only things from the past can go in without getting affected.
And then the big reveal was it was actually the Pietro from X-Men.
X-Men.
So
and then Darcy has the lovely comment of going, wait, she recast Pietro?
I was like, what? I didn't see this coming.
Also, he's got like an accent. He's got like a...
Like New York in it. It's like, hey!
Yeah, New York. Hey, I'm walking here sort of accent.
Yeah.
Which isn't his accent from version.
Well, she's probably still adding him into the TV show.
Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna... This leaves so many questions.
I know, and I love this episode. It's such a good episode.
Are they gonna have him back as the X-Men version?
I think they would.
And they're not going to bring back other boy?
I think they will.
Matey boy?
Because this is the...
I hope they do, because I like that version. I don't like the X-Men version.
Well, unfortunately, you're in the minority for that one.
Yeah, I know, but everyone's like, oh, those Quicksilver scenes in X-Men...
Yeah, the scenes were cool.
No, they weren't.
They were cool.
I don't like any... No, they were fine. The one in the mansion sucks.
The first one. The first one was good.
The first one's fine. It's not good.
It's cool.
It's fine. It's not. It's so overhyped. It's fine.
Mr. Complaining over here.
Also, no, all they do is they do him for that one scene, and then they're like, oh, well, we could use you in every other situation and you'd basically break the thing. We're just going to send you back home. We don't need you anymore. And it's like...
Right.
And then in Apocalypse, they have to cripple him. And Dark Phoenix, they have to cripple him. And it's like, well, okay. You want to just cripple him because you don't want to do the fast scenes.
Right. Let's stop complaining about X-Men. It's not about that. What did you
It
find
is,
about
because
the
they want to bring him
episode?
over. I loved it.
Yeah,
Great.
it's a great episode.
Can't wait for episode 6.
And episode 6 is happening right now.